Hi, this is Jeff. Welcome to Talooli Trails, and this is Emma, my granddaughter. She and I were going for a walk around camp, and she started picking up things. What did you find, Em? What have you got in your hands?
Acorns.
Acorns, correct answer. We found all kinds of things, and one of the things in camp that I notice with people when they're in nature is that sometimes they have a same word to apply to lots of different things. So, for example, this is a pine cone, right? Yep. Well, right. Well, this is another pine cone, and this is another pine cone, and they're all different. But the truth is, each different shape is a different species that is common at camp, and they're pretty easy to get straight. These great big ones with the fluffy-looking seed protecting scales. This is white pine, and white pine, each one of these scales would have a seed underneath it, and those seeds would fall to the ground. Acorns, right. And this is what white pine looks like. White pine has long, flexible needles that are in bundles of 5, and nothing else looks like it. These are very soft and very gentle. So if this is the branch with the 5 needles from the white pine, those are the biggest, tallest trees in camp, and they have big cones like this. Then the smaller, rounder cones like this are a little different, and they belong to a different pine, the Scots pine. Now, Scots pine has much stiffer needles, and they're in groups of 2s. So there's Scots pine and there's white pine, and they're pretty common at camp. But this is one of my favorites, and it's not a pine at all. This is actually Norway spruce, and the spruce cones, when they ripen like this, each one of those scales has a seed underneath it. And these ripened last summer, and all during the summer and the fall and the winter, the red squirrels will harvest these Norway spruce cones, and they'll chew the scale off and eat the seed, and chew the scale off and eat the seed, and chew the scale off. No, it's a spruce cone. And so this is a little bit like a corn cob after you get done eating all the corn off it. So this is what it starts out looking like, and this is what it ends up looking like, and we find these all over camp. This is the branch from the spruce, and boy, does that look different than pine. Each needle is a separate individual needle. They're kind of sharp and a little bit prickly, and this is Norway spruce, another very common cone-bearing tree at camp. But this little guy is my favorite of all the cones. No, it's not a pine cone. These are the cones from the hemlock tree. And they're not babies. That's as big as they get. And again, each one of those scales has a seed underneath it. And this is what the hemlock branch looks like. The needles are soft, they're flat, they have 2 little white lines underneath them. And this is the tree that we talked about when we were doing fire building. Because when the branch dies, it has these tiny, tiny little twigs that are really good for starting fires. Now, the acorns are different altogether. Let me see. These are red oak acorns. We have a couple of kinds of oaks here in camp, but about 95% are red oak. And these red oak acorns it's a surprise they made it through the winter, because these are filled with food that the squirrels and the chipmunks really like to eat. So this is Jeff and Emma at Camp Talooli for Talooli Trails. I hope you have fun looking for nature things when next time you go for a hike. Take care. Get the acorn out of your mouth, you squirrel.
Acorn. Babies. Bring over to